My name is Thomas. I work in the University of Technology, Sydney, in the business school. So before we actually formally start our workshop this afternoon, I'll just do a very quick 2 minutes introduction of our university. So our university is in Sydney, Australia. It's in the top 10 universities. We currently have 51,000 students university-wise. Business school is one of the largest faculties in the university. So business school alone have more than 11,500 students, among which 6,500 to 7,000 are undergrad bachelor students, and the rest are master by research, master by coursework, and PhD students, okay? So our business school are divided into 5 discipline groups: economics, accounting, finance, marketing, and management. So each of the school will work together to deliver our courses both in the undergrad and in the postgraduate levels. Now, enough of the introduction from our university and the business school. Today, the workshop are divided into 2 major parts. The first part, I will give a brief introduction about the application of artificial intelligence in the financial management areas. Okay, does anyone do econ here? Econ? Economics? Okay, gonna be someone, right? Okay, now, what about business studies? Anyone do business studies? Oh, okay, there we go. Lovely to see that. Okay, thank you. Do you actually learn anything about finance in your studies? Yes, no, yes? Okay. Now, so the first part is, okay, thank you. All right, you see that, the candies, right? This is actually for someone who actually got my question right. Okay. The people start warm up. Yes, that's a good sign there. So the first part is about the application of artificial intelligence in the field of finance. The second part, we're going to talk about analytics in terms of the budgeting for a particular project, okay? So without further ado, let's kick off. How do I control this one? Okay, yes. All right. So the artificial intelligence in the investing in the financial management are in these 5 major fields. Okay, the first one is the trading, so algorithmic tradings. Okay, so we're using algorithm to actually do share stock chain exchange, foreign currency exchange, all these different kind of investment. The second part is we install AI systems in the financial services institute to scan through the sentiment analysis, to scanning public's opinion about a particular product, about a particular financial institute, about a particular share and a stock. So for example, I believe that iPhone 17 is coming up, right? So this Friday, you can pre-order that. And next Friday, the iPhone 17 will be available in the store globally. So how do we know that? How popular is iPhone 17 among the public? Okay, so we're using AI system and the bots. We design the bots to scanning through the social media platforms. Okay, about any negative and a positive kind of a sentiment. Third one is portfolio optimizations. So portfolio management is one of the I would say most complicated, but it's a very difficult and challenging part if you want to work in the future in the finance sector. So if you are a account manager for a particular client, so you do work very carefully about how this portfolio will be distributed. Now, and the last, the fourth one is the risk management. This is mostly about your online payment systems. The last one is talking about the personalized investment analysis. Almost is about customer satisfaction score. Okay. Now let's have a look at the first one. Now here comes first question with the prize. Okay. I'm not asking about locations. Okay. Please remember that I'm not asking about which country. I'm asking about which type of exchange is the biggest financial market exchange in the world. I'm not asking about a location. I can tell you location-wise, United States has the highest share in terms of the exchange. But I'm asking you which type of exchange is the biggest financial markets in the world. Does anyone know? Please do not Google, do not ChatGPT, okay? Yes, okay, okay, so you. Eh? I don't know what that answer is, but no, okay? Eh? Sorry? Dollars. What do you mean by dollars? It's very close. Can you specify that? Ah, right. Can you say it again, please? All right. When you mentioned about the dollars, what about the dollars? Like exchange of what?
Like exchange of currency, because dollar is the most stable.
Very good. You deserve a prize. It is the Forex. So the foreign currency exchange is the largest financial institute in the world. Okay, and I think can you pass that to the student? Thank you very much. Now, he also actually answered half my next question. Among the Forex, the foreign currency exchange, the largest one happening between two currencies, the one is US dollars, and the second one is the one in the green shirt, please. It's between US dollars and... Oh, that's the third one, not the second one. Eh? No. Yes, euro. Okay, yes. Okay, in the foreign currency exchange, the largest one happen on a daily basis is the exchange between US dollars and euro. Okay, that you are looking at billions of dollars every hour. Okay, now what people did is they designed AI systems. They were thinking, instead of human investing that, during this exchange, can we using artificial intelligence program to learn from the human experience and then to do tradings instead of us, okay? Now, the first graph is before we actually trained the AI systems. What happened is we put $100 into the AI systems. Without training, AI system doesn't know what to do. They have no clue, so they do random exchanging behaviors. Okay, very random. So the end result is it's a negative $175 loss. Okay, so it's a loss. Now, let's look at the second graph below that. So we now training the AI systems with 1 million steps. Well, to us, 1 million steps maybe take, I don't know how long, our lifetime maybe. But for AI systems, take about a week or less than a week to be completed. Now, the AI system now fully aware of how this actually exchange going to work. So now you look at it, the total reward after the training is actually positive 961 US dollars, just by trading between US dollars and euros. Okay, so when you go travel, you change your US dollars to euros, you change the back. But when you actually do the trading on the markets, you do exchange by the minute. So you do exchange one way, then return, one way, return, one way, return. It's a micro tradings. Okay, we don't do micro tradings at our levels. The AI can do that for us. Okay. Now, this is only happened in an isolated experiment kind of environment. Now, we tested again to see, would that actually going to happen in the real Forex? Okay. Now, the graph to the right, this has actually happened when we invest 100 US dollars using the same AI model to invest into the foreign currency exchange markets. And the actual profits, you can see that. Yeah, so it's 277% all the way to $354. Okay, then what we did again is this actually a unique situation? Only happened between US dollars and euros? No. Okay, so the next step experiment is, can we duplicate the profit between US dollars and the British pound, as you mentioned? And again, yes, okay, you actually receive about profit of what, 200 something dollars when you actually trade between US dollars and the British pound. Okay, now before COVID, the AI trading or the algorithm trading, has a very small scale. It only has a scale of $9 billion. You may think, oh, $9 billion, that's a lot. It sounds a lot, but in terms of global exchange, it is nothing, okay? It's just a fraction of the total value. But after the COVID, so with the rapid development of AI, so the size, the value of the entire AI tradings now is $16 billion, and it's increasing, okay, every single year. So now we should see that in the future, maybe, you know, in the old movies, Wall Street. Had anyone watch the movie Wall Street? Yes, you did. Good. Okay. The famous line in the Wall Street movie is "Greed is good." Okay, I don't necessarily agree with that saying, but in the old days, you see that the stock exchange people just yelling at each other, try to get their share actually changed. Would that actually be disappearing in the future because everything is traded on the AI platforms? We don't know. Okay, that's something that for us to find out. Okay, now let's move on to the second one. Okay, sentiment analysis. Anyone who use social media platforms? I would say everyone. Okay, Instagram. What's the most popular social media platform in Thailand? TikTok. Okay. Right. Okay. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is for like stone age people like me. Yes. Yes. These social media receive millions of comments and on every hour on TikTok. Okay, millions of videos being posted and comments being shared. But how do we know? How do people feel about this? We don't. Okay. A positive and a negative public review towards a particular product will greatly influence its share markets. Okay. For example, I don't know if I have the example here. Maybe I don't. Okay. I'll give you the example. The example I normally share with the students is there is a AI system designed for this, and they will rate a particular comment between -1 and +1. +1 means this comment is extremely helpful, positive review, okay? And -1.0 means this is a really bad review, okay? So this particular product is Nintendo, okay? A console that, you know, people play. there are only a couple of keywords that the AI system can actually scan through. Okay, they don't scan the whole sentence because the whole sentence doesn't mean anything. They pick up the keywords. Okay, the first keyword is the Nintendo is great. That's the first sentence of the comment. Then the customer continue with the sentence. Then the next keyword is faulty. Okay, the entire sentence has about 60 words, but there are only 2 words are the keywords that will be picked up by the AI system. One is great, the second one is faulty. Okay, so based on the AI grading systems, Nintendo is great. This one is about a positive 0.3, but the faulty word, which will mark as a red color, it was about negative 0.9. So the overall rating of this particular comment is negative 0.6. That means this will be rated as a very negative comment. So this is actually how the AI system is going to scan millions of comments on a daily basis to see how people's opinion about particular products or financial services. Okay. People may ask, can public opinions and everything crush a company? Well, in the traditional way, no, but in the modern era, yes. Okay, I don't assume that anyone here trade cryptocurrency, yeah? If you don't, good, don't do it. Back in 2023, there's a guy called Sam Beckwith. So he was the CEO of the second largest cryptocurrency platforms. That platform used to have billions of dollars of assets, but when the news came out, was leaked that they were being fraudulent, their financial assets reports, the financial report, everything come out, the public opinion start to declining towards these particular platforms. And because of that, everyone tried to exchange their cryptocurrency back to the US dollars, which bankrupt the entire platform within 48 hours. So that platform was the second biggest cryptocurrency exchange platform, and it was gone within 48 hours. So public opinion is actually quite important in terms of kind of a risk. Okay, so AI system in detecting those ones are crucial for company to maneuver their strategies around that. Now, third one, okay, this is a typical chart of a Australian superannuation account. I'm not entirely sure how Thailand's retirement fund works. Maybe the teacher here can explain to me, like, does the employer pay a commercial superannuation fund? Or does the government have the retirement fund? Or how does that work? I'm not entirely sure how that works in Thailand. But in Australia, this is actually how it works. It's by law, every employee receives the benefit of superannuation from their employer. Okay? So on top of their annual salary, the company, your boss, have to pay you extra 11% of your annual salary as superannuation fund. And this fund will be transferred into a superannuation fund account, which you cannot touch. You cannot access until you retire. Okay? This is the money that not for you to use it for now, but is to accumulate like a snowball rolling into the investment market. And then at the age of, I think 67 now for us, when you retire, you will have access to this amount of money, that accumulations, okay? Now, we never ever invest all our assets into one market, because one market, if that particular market crash and burned, then we lose everything, okay? Therefore, we need to diversify our portfolios, okay? So I think 2 months ago, I checked my own superannuation fund account. Then I realized that, well, I didn't realize that before, but then now I know that I actually own some NVIDIA share, which I was not aware before, okay? Why was I so surprised to see NVIDIA? Now, we have what we call a 7 magnificent on the stock markets. That means the 7 highest value company with the share values. Now, here comes the questions. I can tell that NVIDIA is one of them. Can anyone name another one? Microsoft, yes. Okay. Apple, yes. That's too. I said it's too easy. Okay. Anyone else? You already have one, so I can't. Oh, you have one. Okay. Amazon, very good. Okay. Jeff Bezos. Who else? Sorry. Yes, Tesla. Sorry, who did I? I'll give you another one. Yes, Tesla is another one. Anyone else? No. Not the Taiwanese company. Yes, Alphabet, the owner of Google. Yes. How many do we have now? 6, right? Not Ali. Okay, all of them are American-owned company. There's only one more. No, I said everything is American-owned company. Anyone from that side? Sorry, I'll go for that side. Hey? Well, he said Tesla already, so that's part of that. Hey? What is it? Target? No. They said Alphabet, Google, yes. Apple, they already said it. Walmart, no. Yes, Meta, yes. The social media and AI platforms. Can you have one? Yes, you will have that when you have the question right. Yes. Okay, right. Come back to the graph here, please. Now, the graph shows you a variety of different investment choices for your investors, okay? So all the way from US equities to absolute return, to venture capitals, to commodities and real estate, okay? For normal human account managers, if this person manage about hundreds of thousands of accounts, they have no time, absolutely no time to adjust the percentage of a particular investment portfolio. So what they do is they use artificial intelligence to help them to minimize the risk of investment and to maximize their profits. Okay, so you will see the portfolios goes like what do you call the fine tunings every day. Okay, maybe you shift from 14% to 15%. Then you decrease from 10% to 9%. So it's an entire kind of a circle of adjustment. Of course, the owner of the account, like myself, I can actually ask my account manager to do is, oh, I want to invest heavily into a particular field. But if my suggestions goes against the AI predictions or the account manager's prediction, they will actually suggest, oh, well, sir, we still respect. I do not recommend you to do that, okay? So they will provide a certain advice on how this portfolio should be invested, okay? So the AI system will help them or help us to do these kind of things. Next one, risk management or fraud detections, okay? What's the most popular online payment system in Thailand? Well, I don't know the correct answer. This is an open question. Eh? Gasigong. Okay. K. Okay. Can anyone explain to me when she said K Bank why everyone cheer? That is fascinating because I didn't understand that part. Yes. Inside joke. Okay, what is the inside joke? Okay. Okay, guys. With online payment systems, when you register with your online payment systems, do you ever read all the fine prints before you click, yes, I accept, or yes, I agree? Do you? No. Why not? Because it's too small, too long, too technical, and too hard to read, yes? But I do advise you that you can actually read through these terms and conditions, terms and conditions, because there are a lot of fine print details in there, okay? Talking about who has the final right to explain what's a fraudulent, okay? Normally, the payment system, the company will has the final right to tell you what to do, okay? Now, a typical example of a fraud detection, actual example happened to me. Last year I traveled in Dubai, and while I traveled in Dubai, I received an automated message on my phone saying, well, we detect there's a payment that been transferred from your account, happened in Thailand. Actually happened in Thailand. And they will try to verify that it was that me or not. And I said, no, it wasn't me. So they said, well, can you click the button and advise the bank that you want your card to be frozen. So they will issue a new card. So that's a automated detections of a fraud. Okay, that's one example, geographical locations. That is actually the simple one because I think that started happening about 10 years ago already. Now, the next one is what we call a detection of your fake ID. Has anyone heard word of deep fake? Yes, so if faking everything, using your photos, your personal information, your address, your whatever information they can collect, and they will pretend that they are you. And they will start borrowing money from a financial institute, even the loan shark, okay, with a 30% interest return. So without you knowing that, people start to spending your money, enjoy your life, but you, on the other hand, need to pay back the bank. Okay, so the ID theft that the bank actually received, they need to depend on a lot of automated system to detect that's actually not you. Okay, so that's a very important aspect because it's a scamming. Scamming is a huge industry. Okay, please don't go into scamming industry. I put my warnings first. But I have to say, scamming industry is huge globally, okay? United States alone, every year, they lose over $1 billion. Oh, probably too small. I think $10 billion to scamming alone, okay? So be careful of your ID and personal information. Last year, one of the largest telecom company in Australia been hacked. Okay, and they lost about 2 million users' personal information. And guess what? On the second week, many of those informations been merged on the third-party markets. So those hackers been selling your personal informations. And I was one of the customer, so I was very pissed. Then we were warned that do not respond to any fraudulent phone calls or anything, okay? That's where the fraud detection starts. All right. The last one, not the least, is talking about the enhancing customer experiences, the CX, okay? So this is a very traditional idea, but nowadays we're using artificial intelligence or bots to help us to fill the information. Now, when you finish using a Grab service, for example, at the end of your trip, you will see a screen pop up saying, are you satisfied with your service? Would you give a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star? So that's a typical customer satisfaction score detecting, okay? The second part is called the customer recommendation score. So for example, you use a banked financial service, then you'll be surveyed. How much would you recommend this financial service to your friends or your family or other people? So that's a recommendation score. The third one is how easy is it to access the financial services, okay? Because of the digital payment systems development and also the automated payment, online payment, some of the banks in Australia try to remove their in-person service, okay, in their local branches. They try to cut down their costs, okay? Well, it was backfired by a particular group of people, okay? The people who are not very familiar with technologies, or elderlies, or people with disabilities. So the bank forgot about their actual service to the communities, okay? They're removing the in-person, like bank tellers. So you can't go into the bank and ask the person to service you. So all done online. So when the large bank announced that they will remove some of those in-person services, so the public opinion actually went berserk. Okay, they did not agree with bank that removing the entire in-person services in their branches. So eventually, they actually listened. Most of the branches, they remained. They keep the in-person financial services. So this is all detected by the AI system that installed in their app. Okay, right? That is the first part. Now, second part, talking about our budgetings. This is the World Happiness Report, and it's powered by Gallup. Okay, Gallup is an organization that does a lot of surveys about public opinions. Now, in the top countries, Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, then you have later on number 7, Norway. Those countries, where are they? They are in the Scandinavias, they're in the Nordic, they're in North Europe. Has anyone been to North Europe before? Hands up. Oh, there are several. Can I ask you, what's your impression of Nordic regions? Cold and half year dark? Yeah, does it rain a lot? Not really, okay. So my impression to those regions are, it's dark, miserable, the climate is not great. Half of the year, you don't really see the sun much. So it's very hard to imagine people, the citizens living in those countries are the happiest people in the world, okay? Oh, by the way, Australia is there. Oh, okay, sorry, you can't see number 11. Australia is actually number 11, okay? I don't know how to cut down to number 10. When we measure the happiness of a particular country, what are the measurements? What are the metrics? Anyone? Yes? A? Satisfaction on what? Life, okay, like living standards. Okay, so you have living standard, you have your education systems, your health cares, your social welfares, your social safety networks, your infrastructure development, yes, all these, and your average GDPs, your personal incomes, average income. All right, but is average income the only metrics? No. Have a look. Costa Rica is number 6. Certainly, they are not a very high income countries, okay? Mexico is number 10, and their average income is much lower than Australia, okay? I'm not quite sure about the average income in Thailand, but the average income of Australia is about 96 Australian dollars, so close to about 100,000 a year. So do the calculations, 1 Australian dollars is about 20 Thai baht. So you're looking at an annual salary of 2 million? 2 million baht. Yeah, around 2 million baht a year. That's the average salary in Australia. But we're not beating Mexico or Costa Rica in terms of happiness. Okay, there are a lot of measures. Now, the same thing, people doing business studies and econs, you should know that when we measure the success of a business, how do we measure that? Capital employees. All right, the capital, okay, so the money, so the cash flow, the capital invested into that, yes? Productivities, yes. Yeah, you want a chocolate? Oh, goodness. Okay, right, okay. That's all right, yes. Market share, great. Gonna pass on. Can you help me to pass? You deserve that. Okay, anyone else? Right. Okay, what do you think? Profit, yes, profit and revenue, that's definitely, okay, yes, I remember that. I don't have many left, so I'll give you. You can't share with other people. I'm sorry. Yes, I will ask later. Okay. Yes, profit and revenue. That's definitely one of the measurements of the success of your business. But nowadays, when we do service among our industry partners, our business owners, CEOs, and directors, so what they actually looking at, besides these things, they want to see a sustainable growth. Sustainable growth. The word is sustainability. Okay, so we need this business to grow sustainable. Okay, so some business will have 400% increase in particular year, then they drop dramatically in the year after. And that is not what we are looking at. Okay, we want this to be a sustainable growth. Why? Because only if we have sustainable growth, we can predict and we can set the budget right. Okay. Now, who is that? Taylor Swift. Okay, I'm not going to give a prize for knows that. Okay, now, back in 2023, I think Taylor Swift had a world tour concert. Okay, which country among the ASEAN nations is the only country hosted the concert? Yeah, Singapore. Okay. Now, the following question is, why did the concert happen in Singapore? How? Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, now you deserve one. Okay, because Singapore's government, we're not going to say they bought it. We're not going to say they use money. They provide substantial amount of financial support or incentives to the organizers and to have this concert in Singapore. Okay, now can I ask you, will we measure a success of a entertainment event, for example, Taylor Swift concert? How do we measure that from collecting data? How do we know that Taylor Swift concert was a success? Okay, you already have your chocolate. Right? Ticket sale, yes. Anything else? I will get the, I don't have many left, but okay, I will remember you, okay? Anything else? Merchandise, okay, great, okay? I'm not gonna ask more because these two, especially merchandise, they made a record profit from just selling the merchandise because the cost of manufacturing the merchandise was very low, but the price they sold was really high, okay? They made a profit record out of that. Now, in terms of the ticket sale, I'm not entirely sure what happened in Singapore, but in Sydney, in Australia, when this concert came out, when the ticket was released, the government, for the very first time in history, they had to put a cap in the price of this ticket because you have scalp ticket, yeah? Oh, quickly, okay. Now, they put a cap, so you cannot sell Taylor Swift concert with a certain price. It capped at $750, I think. Okay, so if anyone do the scalp ticket that is try to sell like a 1,500, it's illegal. Okay, very first time in the history. Now in 2025, we have the biggest news in the international trade and economics. I'm not going to ask this because everyone knows this because it's tariff war. Okay, so tariff war is imposed by the US administrations on many countries when they export to the United States. Now, who is using iPhone in this room? Oh, wow. That's like 2/3 of the students using iPhone. Okay, now, iPhone 16, iPhone 15, most of those iPhones they were still manufactured in China, okay? Because China has a huge iPhone production lines, and now Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, tried to shift the production line to India, but the U.S. administration wasn't very happy about this decision because the whole point of tariff is they want to bring the entire Apple production back to the United States. Okay, but there's only one problem with that is These are the news headlines when they announced that they want to bring iPhone production back to the United States. Currently, an iPhone will range from $800, $900 US to $1,100 US. But if they shift every single manufacturing line back to the United States, the new iPhone will cost double of that price. That's $2,200 US. Okay, there are a lot of reasons behind that. And, well, Tim Cook suggested, oh, how about we move the iPhone production to India? And that's what they're doing. So if you actually buy an iPhone 17 now, a new ones, you pretty much have a chance that the phone would have been manufactured in India. Okay, but recently, United States announced their tariff against India. So it's a 25% additional tariff on top of the original 25%. So the total tariff they put on Indian products is 50%. Okay, so that will definitely change the price they actually sold those iPhone in United States. They may not change the price that they sell in Thailand because Thailand didn't impose any of the tariffs on the Indian products. Okay, now imagine the scenarios. Okay, I want to design a new phone, and from the designing to the manufacturing productions, you have to design this new phone, and it has to be manufactured in some other country than China. Okay, cannot be made in China. The phone has to be a very high quality that can compete with iPhone. Now, the management team asks you, how much would it actually cost to actually make these new phones? Okay. Normally, I would ask students to split into different groups, but I don't think we're going to do that today because the time constraints and number of students attending. Now, the idea, if you did business studies, you must have studied these ones, right? There are fixed costs and variable costs, okay? So who can tell me what are the fixed costs that are associated in designing and manufacturing the new phone? Oh, okay, sorry. Yes? I thought your hands, yes? Factories?
Yeah, factories cost. Rent. Yeah.
Okay, the rent of the land, the factory constructions, anything else? Employee wage. Okay, that can be discussed as both variable or fixed cost. Anything else? Oh, okay, which one? Fixed. Material is always a variable cost because the variable cost will depend on how many phones you are actually making and you are selling, okay? Oh, your arm hurts, I think.
Electricity bill.
Okay, so utilities. Did he answer some answers that you want to give? All right, utility bills, yes. Anything else? Okay, just yell out your answer. Just, it's fine. Right, what's your answer? Yes, R&D. R&D is a huge investment in the fixed cost. Equipment, yes, so machineries and everything. Now, here comes a very interesting concept. When we hire factory workers, we give them salaries, and when they receive salaries, they pay the government tax. Imagine that we no longer hire any human laborers. We hire robots in the factories. Do we still pay them salary? No. Do they receive money? No. If they don't receive salary, they don't need to pay the government tax. And that is not acceptable by many governments because they're losing the income stream. So what the government are in discussion, some of the government are in discussion about, they're going to impose what we call a robot tax. That sounds very ridiculous. How do we charge tax on robots? They actually are discussing about this idea. Depends on how many robots and AI assistant systems a company are using, they will tax them accordingly, okay? Because they are dodging paying the tax using human labor, okay? Yes, tax evasion, okay? Is tax evasion very serious crime in Thailand? Yes, yes, okay, right. In United States, it's a serious crime of tax evasions, okay? We always say there are two things that is inevitable in your life, your death and your tax, okay? Now, what we do at the end is to actually work out the actual cost of making this new phone. We will need to do online research and find out each components, the labor cost. If you actually want to make this phone in Thailand, then you need to find out what's the renting policy on the land lease policy in Thailand and find out how much will cost you to rent a particular land and including constructions, the machineries, and then you will need to summarize all this information in a data table and using, does anyone know, okay, are you familiar with using Excel? Microsoft Excel? Yes, yes, good. Either using Microsoft Excel or using Power BI, all these tools, to actually give a conclusion of what's the actual cost. And after you work out the numbers, you normally would need to draw a graph and to predict how this cost will affect your sales prices, okay? That's it, right, okay. Now, because of the time, I'm not gonna continue with further exercises. Again, did I miss giving someone candies before? I think I didn't give you, right? Okay, yeah, come down here, I will give you one. Again, thank you very much for coming to today's workshops and seminars. And thank you for the school organizing it and IDP for helping it. All right, hopefully that you learned something from today's session. All right, thank you. Should I pass this to you? Right, okay.